Hey everyone, welcome back to the Amateur Hunting Channel. Today is going to be a bit of a post video about how to de-quill a porcupine. And one of the reasons why I'm taking this approach in this video specifically is mostly because it didn't go as well as I would have hoped. For two reasons. Number one, most of the videos that I saw online really had people doing one of two things. They either A, got the skin and took it off, burned it, and kept the meat. Or B, they got the animal, they de-haired it, de-furred it, de-quilled it, but then the meat afterwards was tossed out. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to kind of combine those two ideas together. The idea that you can keep the meat and also be able to de-quill and de-hair the porcupine. So that was a challenge that I kind of had because most of the videos that I've watched on how to do this didn't really cover that. So I wanted to try and do it myself. So here's what I've learned throughout the whole experience. And then I'll also post some videos in here showing you the fast forward progress of how it looked while I was doing it. So first of all, when I got home, the hide was still frozen from when I took it off the animal. So I had to let it start coming a bit more up temperature so that way it's a bit more easier to work with. I didn't tack it onto the board right away because with it still being partially frozen but starting to thaw out, it became easier to work with and I could still pull out the hairs and have no problems with that. So initially, you're going to see when I was working on the animal that I didn't nail it down. It was all loose on some plywood. After a while though, when it started getting really flexible, malleable, so the temperature was going up more and more as I kept on working with it, that's when it started to become more difficult to handle. And that's where I decided to put it on the board. As you can see, oh, it's not that visible because of the light, unfortunately, but it's tacked on to a board outside there on my balcony. When I tacked it on, the only nails that I have in the house at the current moment in time are finishing nails. And that's what I think is the biggest mistake that I made this time. Because the finishing nails have no head on them, the hide, even though you nail it down, the hide just slides up the nail and pops off. And that's what you're going to see in the videos when I post them later on, is you're going to see that eventually, as you keep pulling and pulling and pulling, taking the hairs off, the hide just slides up the nail and pops off. So I'm thinking the next time that I attempt to do this, to make it more successful so I can harvest more quills, is I need to get better nails that have a bigger head. I'm thinking kind of similar to the nails that you use for roofing and putting roofing tiles on. I'm thinking those nails might be pretty good, but I'm going to go to Home Depot. I'm going to try and find some nails that have a larger head, and I'm thinking that's going to help prevent the issue of the hide popping off. The second issue that I had was just I tried to rush the process a little bit too much. It's a very lengthy process to be able to do this. It's going to take you probably close to half an hour, maybe 45 minutes of work to get the guard hairs off. And then another hour to maybe 2 hours to get the fur off. And then after that, another hour on top of that. So I was trying to do this all, I wouldn't say all in one day, but I wasn't able to find enough time or give it enough time to get it done. So I'm thinking in the future, I might try and split it up over more days and make sure that the first step is done before moving on to the next. Because we'll take a look at the hide in a minute. I wasn't finished removing all of the guard hairs when I moved on to taking the fur off. And I didn't have all the fur off by the time I moved to taking the quills off. So I guess it was just a matter of trying to make the process a bit faster than what it needs to be and making sure that the next time I do this, you give it the due time that it needs to get done. So let's go take a look outside. And that way you guys can sort of see you can see the hide out there and sort of learn what I'm talking about here. Just gotta open the door. So on the hide here, as you can see, there's still all these guard hairs up here that haven't been taken off. And then down here is where I've been working. And I got only this small section of the animal cleared of the quills. So for that, I mean, I could keep working on this hide, but I'm thinking that what I want to do is the next time, just again, make the improvements that I just talked about. So that way, the next time it happens, I can harvest the majority of the quills. And then for storage, like I'm sure you saw, is this right here. So I got most of the quills up here in the back in this little plastic bin. I also have a plastic bag in there which has all the guard hairs off. So what I'm gonna do now, guys, I'm gonna show you a bit of a sped up version, some of the time lapse of me pulling off the guard hairs and pulling off the quills. And if you guys want, if anybody has any other ideas of how to make this process a bit better, post it in the comments below. Let me know what you think. After all, the whole point of this process as an amateur hunter is sort of to learn together. And that's the purpose of this channel. We're all trying to learn to be better survivalists, hunters, whatever the case may be. So post in the comments down below what you think could be done differently next time. And then if we do manage to catch, or if I do, I should say, manage to catch another porcupine in the future, I could do another video this time showing the actual skinning process and showing a bit more of a detailed video on how to de-quill the porcupine. So here's the rest of the video, guys. Enjoy, and see you next time.